Well, folks, the end of this week is going to bring the curtain down on a spectacular career here at Montrose FC for Paul. And this episode, what we're going to focus on in the 1879 Lounge is this, our championship winning season.
Yeah.
You there as captain. We'll come to the day itself, as you see there. I think a lot of people, though, we don't really talk about the season as a whole. And do you have any memories of any point or points within the season where you thought, this is it, we're going to do this is a definite possibility?
I think, there's probably, it's hard to remember all the games. I think probably Andy Steves is the only person that remembers every game and who scored and what the score was. I should actually ask Andy to come, but there was a few, but I think right from the very start there was kind of a belief and a confidence in the squad. Obviously from when the manager just came in and we got to the playoffs in that first season, and it was probably just a bit of step too far, and then I think with the squad that we put together, I think there was a confidence there, and then I think you get through up to December and the results, you've still got a long way to go, but certainly the foundation was laid in Dublin. I say that to people all the time. But these things just pull everyone together. What a great weekend in Dublin for our Christmas do. And then we just kicked on, and then there was a few, obviously it was really close between us and Peterhead. In some of their games, there was one here, I think we were maybe getting beat 2-0, we won 3-2. Games like that, and we went down to Stirling, which was a tough game, and I think we gave them 4 or 5 that day. And as they're building, it just builds a confidence, and you kind of maybe start to think, right, we've probably got a chance of winning this here. Obviously Peterhead pushed us all the way, but it went down to the last day. But there was, I can't remember all the games, but there was 2 or 3 like that, and certainly just the team spirit and the togetherness that we had was probably the key things.
I mean, did you have anybody in the sort of changing room sort of saying to you guys, I'm telling you boys, you're going to win this league?
I think it's always one of them, you don't want to get ahead of yourself and start talking about winning leagues too early, but I think you get to a certain point and then it becomes, you can't really avoid it because everyone else is talking about it, and you've maybe only got 2 teams in the running for it, and then you beat whoever your closest rivals for it. So it's hard to not talk about it, but I think at the start of the season you obviously we were aiming at being in the playoffs or push on again. So, but I think as time goes on, you start to have that belief, and everyone's just pulled in the right direction without actually saying we're going to win the league here and getting too ahead of yourself. So I think there's probably quietly confident between in the dressing room and from the management staff, but as time went on it became harder to not talk about it.
I mean, the thing was, of course, you forget helicopter Saturday. You're talking about Peterhead pushing us to right to the last game of the season. I mean, do you remember much about the build up to the game and how you were preparing yourself to go out there and take on this massive challenge?
I think right through the season. I mean, I think in the run up to that, that week, we'll probably just try to keep it as normal as you can, but you're going to have, I don't know what the crowd was, somebody else maybe know, there was a couple of thousand
there. Over 2,000 people.
Over a couple of thousand anyway, so, and you try to sort that and tickets and everyone being there and all that, so trying to not get caught up in that. But I think through the season, I think the team, I want to say the team was probably really similar to the week before, and throughout the season I think one of the reasons we were successful because we had a group of players and there was people that were interchanging. You maybe play a few games and you'd come out and you'd go back in, or you come off the bench, so a lot of people were kind of rotating, but I think that last couple of weeks, I think we went down to Sten and got a really good result second game, so I think the team the next week, I might be wrong on this, but I'm sure the team probably picked itself, so that was straightforward, and it was just a case of focusing on that game, and I think we knew the result that we had to get to win it, so it's brilliant looking back on it. I can't believe it was already that long ago, but
incredible,
but great times for you see the turnout that we had from the photos. It was brilliant.
It was a great day.
Yeah.
The thing about Peterhead was, I mean, the emotional roller coaster with being down a goal at half time.
Yeah.
You know, you're hoping it's going to be one of these days where you're 3 or 4 up at half time and you can relax, and it wasn't like that at all. I mean, that half time team talk, I mean, you can't underestimate how important that must have been.
Yeah, I know. I think it's probably a case of just trying to, from the gaffer and Ross, just get across not to panic and just keep doing what you're doing, and you know we would get that goal, which we eventually did. But yeah, it's one of them when you see them scoring first, it's always you think, oh, what have we done here? But yeah, no, the boys did well to get in and get it over the line. So it was a special day for everyone, really.
Do you remember much about this side of it, or more what happened afterwards?
No, I think you quite often forget that it was the helicopter involved and everything, and it came over and landed wherever it landed and came out and left the trophy. So, but yeah, it goes by so quick. You just got to try and cherish it. But even just everyone celebrating with the trophy and everyone coming on the pitch and stuff like that, it's hard to think about it back when you see the photos. But it was a brilliant day, and good couple of days following that as well. And then can we talk about it? You headed off to Benidorm. We went to Benidorm. Yeah, we went to Benidorm. Again, it was because we'd left it so late. We didn't want to book anything and just think that we get ahead of ourselves and book a trip away. But I think the club and everyone had committed to that. But we didn't want to book anything beforehand just in case and be too big-headed or slip up. But I remember trying to organise it, because I was part of trying to organise it at such short notice, and all we could get was Benidorm because I think it was a bank holiday. So we went to Benidorm in the worst apartment block. It was like something at Beirut. It was horrendous, but it doesn't matter. The boys were all together and management and everyone had a great time celebrating it. So
it's a place to put your head down at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much of that. There's not much of that either. So, but yeah, everyone came out alive, thankfully. But it was brilliant. Yeah, great couple of days away. And again, that just kind of, solidified everyone in the togetherness and the spirit and everything that we had.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if we follow on from that, were you surprised at how well we took and have taken to being in League One? Because I know, like in some of the hospitality rooms, fans were saying, I don't know if we want this, we could really struggle and it could be dead. And of course, it's not really been like that for us at all, the success
No, not
we've
at
had.
all. I mean, I think obviously this season for me has probably been our least successful. And, we've struggled the most. And saying that, a couple of weeks ago we beat Queen of the South, we were a couple of points behind them.
Unreal,
so it just shows you. But no, I think you always look at the league and the teams that would, that were at the bottom half of that League One when we were kind of pushing it that season. And between the bottom and tops of these leagues, there's not a huge amount of difference. There is a bit, but I kind of thought with the squad and the spirit and the togetherness, and we'd kept the nucleus of that squad even when we went up, and then added a few. It wasn't really a surprise to me that they went and kicked on, really. Yeah. It's
do you feel it's a shame for you that you're going to end without that sort of playoff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've been so successful that. Do you feel? I wish we'd had that.
Yeah. Well, you wish I'd left earlier, Jack. Is that what you're saying?
No, you're okay.
A couple of years ago.
Well, that would have been.
that would have been just left out 7 years ago. But no. Yeah, a wee bit. I think, probably just the timing's right for me, with the way the seasons went, that this is the time to do it. But yeah, not to go out on a high or have that maybe second promotion or whatever. Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's just not the way it's worked out. But I've had plenty good times and plenty enjoyable memories in the playoffs and stuff, so can't complain too much.
I was going to say, is there, if you're looking at these semis that we've been in, is there anyone that you just go, if I could have that game back, I could take that game back?
Yeah, probably the Airdrie one, I think. The Airdrie one still leaves a sour taste.
I still haven't spoken about it. That
still leaves a sour taste in the mouth. And then also, I suppose, the Queen of the South one, where we were ahead after the first leg here, and we went down, and Stephen Dobby, I think he touched the ball 4 times and he'd scored a hat-trick. It was just, but that was the quality he had, and that's, I think, when you see that and Stephen Dobby and these types of players, and that's where I just feel maybe with all these playoffs and getting to the semis, we've just never had that. We've always had a good squad and good players that, you know, work their backsides off for each other, and we've got a good spirit, but sometimes it's just that wee bit of quality.
Makes a difference, eh?
That level that just gets you through these, or gets you up, or gets you into another promotion. So I just feel that's maybe just been a little, that's maybe why we've not quite got there. But yeah, certainly not through lack of trying.
Shinner for me was actually Morton.
Yeah.
You know, when that last minute kick basically over the
it was
keeper,
a cross.
Speculative. And,
yeah, it was a cross. That was a sore one as well. So we've had a few sore ones, but listen, like you say, a lot of people probably wouldn't have had us in that bracket of challenging to get into the championship when we first came up. So I think we've probably done well to establish ourselves where we are. We just need to keep going and push on and try and make that step finally.
Yeah, and the thing is, of course, you will always have this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That can never be taken away from you that day.
That'll be getting taken down as soon as I leave.
No, I mean, the reality is that
I know you can't.
It's going to be here. I mean, you know, you've got the other ones on the wall. This is here for decades, buddy. You know, and you're a massive part of that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's been a privilege to even be part of that.
Yeah.
So.
Good times, eh?
Yeah, brilliant.
I never even, you know what, I had one beer that day.
Did you?
One beer because I wanted to
So
remember everything. Yeah, it was
within 3 minutes of getting back in the changing room, yeah.
I just wanted to take it all in and just wanted to remember as much of it as I possibly could.
I wish I'd done that, but wasn't to be.
Not to be, buddy.
No.
Well, look, like I say, it's been a pleasure talking to you with this one, and we've got a few more of these.
Yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Good.
Thank you.
Well done, bud.
Cheers.